welcome to another edition of Lab Rats. My name is Andy Walker.
I'm Sean Carruthers.
And this is the show that demystifies technology and occasionally decides they don't want to mystify technology anymore and takes a break and plays too much with their iPhones, like that. So
what?
Exactly.
I'm doing research for this episode.
I know you are, and you have been for the last week. So this episode came about, we were sitting around nerding out on, all clutching our iPhones like losers, talking about our favorite apps. And Matt said, well, we should do an episode on our favorite apps on iPhone. So we thought, well, that's a great way to do an episode without working too hard. So today on Lab Rats...
Don't give it away. Don't give it away.
Today on Lab Rats, our favorite iPhone apps. No, really. We decided to do it that way. No, seriously. So we're obsessed by these things. We think it's a game changer in the world of technology and computers, and so we just thought we'd let you know, the kinds of apps that we've been looking at lately, and share some of the better ones with you, just for fun. We know that Mr. Mobile on butterscotch.com does that, but we get to do 8 at a time. So that's what we're going to do today on Lab Rats, as long as Sean stops his research and gets on with the show.
What?
Yeah, exactly. All right, so let's take a break. And when we come back, Andy and John's favorite iPhone apps. Today on Lab Rats. I bet you it's a favorite pastime of geeks these days is like sitting around with their iPhones and sharing their favorite apps. It's got to be probably biggest time waster out there in the culture. No,
I do this way more than is healthy. Now I know I produce a show with Jay Golden about iPhone apps and other such mobile stuff, but I do it even when I'm not talking to Jay. So,
well, we're going to do it with you guys today. We're going to let you into our little app world and talk about our favorite apps. Now, if you check back with us in a week's time, of course, all this will change. But this is a snapshot in time. I'm going to start with my favorite productivity app. And this may seem like a sort of a real pedestrian choice, but I have to say, I actually open this app every day. And that is the Google app. So, of course, this is a little utility that gives you access to your Gmail, to your calendar, and to all the different apps available. And we use Google an enormous amount in the production of the show and of the network at butterscotch.com. We keep a lot of our documents, in Google Docs. So it's really handy to actually be able to, at a touch of a button, grab data, on your iPhone just by clicking on one of these guys.
So all of the stuff that we do typically from day to day is in there. So it looks like Google Talk is even in there.
Yeah, Google Talk's in there. And the other thing I like about this app is if we go down to the search here, there's actually a voice search. So in the days where you cannot, I've actually had a clip that attaches this to the dashboard now in my car. Mm-hmm. And to do searches now, you can do voice searches. So if I click on this.
Cheeseburger.
This is working, and sure enough, yeah, it found cheeseburger on Wikipedia. There you go. So I highly recommend that one. That was a freebie. What about you, utility-wise?
Well, from a productivity and utility perspective, we discovered the usefulness of one particular app when we were just down in Vegas recently for Blog World.
Right.
Now, anyone that travels into different areas where their carrier doesn't exist will know that there's roaming charges. And back in the day, you used to be able to get away without paying data roaming charges, but now, you pay data roaming charges as well, and you pay SMS charges, you pay everything. So what you need to do is you need to get an app called Ping. So
right.
If I'm trying to get in touch with you through the show, then I would usually send an SMS. Well, yeah. I'm in the States, in Las Vegas, that'll cost me 75 cents a crack. Yeah. If we make a plan for dinner and we go back and forth a couple times, well, that's $4.
Yeah. It's the price of a beer.
It's the price of a beer. It's
wrong.
We should be spending that on beer
right.
rather than
Yeah.
SMS messages.
Yeah.
So Ping, if you get a data plan that allows you to roam and is a lot cheaper, it makes it a little bit less expensive to do this. Now, it sends the information over the data network, and it uses push, which means that if I ping you or if I ping Matt, it'll immediately pop up as a message on the phone whether Ping is running or not.
I just sent you a ping, actually.
Yeah, so you just sent me a ping, and it says, hello, ding dong. Well, thank you so much. So if I want to reply, I just tap in there and say, go away, if I can find the Y, and then I send it back to you. And that'll send it out over the data network. It's a little bit hard to do this backwards, but
Do you Push send? You didn't push send.
I pushed send,
Push
but it's hard to do it the other direction. Okay, so now it's sent to you. So you'll be getting that message.
Now,
over
what's
there.
cool here is you'll see, here's,
There you go. It just showed up. Go away.
oops, I just received it here.
Yeah, so I just sent it, and now it's on his. So he can open up ping and actually reply to me telling him
it's
to
like
go
text,
away.
like text messages, but it's for free over the data network now. of
Although
course.
don't reply because I just told you to go away.
I know, I won't. So here's the other thing, though. Of course, you do get charged for the data that moves across the data network, but
It's a lot less
it's
than
a lot
this
less
and
than
this.
75 cents per 120 character text.
All right, so when we signed up for our special roaming plan, it was something like 1 megabyte is $1. So you'd have to send a lot of those messages back and forth to equal $1.
Right, you got it. So there you go. Now, of course, the iPhone is a major games platform. It's sort of, I would say, rivals, when we're even beating out all the other guys these days. It's amazing the volume of games and the quality of games out there. So let's talk about games for a second.
Yay!
So, I vacillate between one game and another. I have a patience of about 10 minutes for any given game, except occasionally I'll find one that I'm absolutely obsessed with. And you did this to me the other week. We'll talk about what you did to me after this. But I recently found a game called Farm Frenzy. So Farm Frenzy is actually, let's turn it on the side here. So, Allo War Games. And we just let it boot up there. So this is a kind of like a Sims kind of game where you get to be the farmer, and you get to basically run a farm and make money. And my 7-year-old said to me, "Andy, you play your game all the time. You ignore me." And then I realized that I hadn't talked to him in about 3 hours. So it's not good for
Because you're
parents.
too busy playing with these cows.
It is, exactly. So anyway, so what you do is you give them grass to eat, and you can buy stuff. And anyway, it's super fun and addictive. So that's called Farm Frenzy.
So this is really like the Sims for
Want to be farmers. And for bad parents.
for bad parents. All right.
All right. So what about you?
I've got
so,
one.
this is, so I hate you for this forever, because you ruined my trip to Las Vegas.
I didn't
Because of this
ruin
game.
nothing.
Hate it.
I didn't ruin anything. This is a game called Peggle. Now, this is my favorite game in the entire world. Played this back on the PC, and I actually kept, I'd switched to Mac for the most part a few years ago, but this game was so addictive, and it only ran on PC for a while, that I actually kept firing up my Windows XP partition in parallels strictly to play this game. And now it's on the iPhone, which means I can play it anytime I like. Again, it's called Peggle. It's from PopCap.
Right.
It's a simple concept in that if you're familiar with a game called Pachinko or the game Plinko from The Price is Right,
yeah.
where you basically aim at the top and there's a bunch of pegs. You just move your aiming wand around by tapping on the screen, or you can go over to this side of the screen and roll this little lever and do fine tuning this way. And then when you're ready to play, you press fire, and it shoots the ball out and hits all of these little pegs. Now, they light up. And the difference between this Pachinko and Plinko and this is once they come out the bottom, the pegs that you've hit disappear. And the goal is to get all of the orange pegs out before the end of the round.
Right.
And you have green pegs, which give you special abilities like a fireball, or it'll allow you to optimize your shot or light up all the pegs or whatever. There's also purple pegs that give you bonus points. The bucket at the bottom goes back and forth, and if you get into the bucket, you get your ball back. Otherwise, you have 10 balls, and if you run out of balls before you clear out all the orange pegs, game over.
Yeah, there's a week in October that's gone. It's erased from my life because of Peggle.
Yeah. So there's a bunch of levels like this that you can play through that are the standard, and then you can do a challenge where you try to get more pegs, or you try to get a certain number of points, and you can keep playing this forever and try to master it. It's a lot of fun, and you'll hate me as well if you download it. It's about $4.99 or maybe less now, but it's worth
Yeah, you can
every
get on
penny.
sale sometimes.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on. So speaking of money, there's a new category on the App Store called top grossing. So these are the more expensive. Usually, typically it's like 99 cents, $1, $2, $5 max. There's some apps now that are actually worth $30, $40, $50, $100. And so I recently bought one called
I Am Rich?
Yeah. Do you remember that?
I do remember I Am Rich.
What was that all about?
It was $999, and all it had was a screen that I think glowed. Basically, it proved that you could afford it.
Right.
It's gone.
Well, I want to show you. This is not I Am Rich. This is I'm Going Somewhere. This is a product called Navigon, and it's a navigator. It's a GPS software, just like TomTom or one of those guys. And what I love about this is it is a fully functional GPS navigation tool that can replace one of those $400 ones that you have. You can buy at the store from like TomTom, and TomTom actually has its own software. This runs about $89 or $79 depending on the time, and it allows you to just navigate from point A to point B. This is the Canadian and American maps here, and
Looks like here on the farm there, it still looks like Farm Frenzy. Very green.
it kind of does, exactly. But it's cool. It actually has virtual maps.
Everyone will get to know where Andy lives now.
Yeah, exactly. Has virtual maps that actually simulates the look and feel of actual highways and stuff like that. So it's really quite clever. So I love that. It's from Navigon, and you can find that in the top grossing apps right now. So in fact, I've got rid of my TomTom completely now, and this is mounted up on my dash on my car.
Very
And
good.
it actually talks to you turn by turn kind of instructions too.
Yeah, I know that Jay Goldman looked at one recently called Copilot, which is a little bit less expensive than that. I'm not sure if it's any better than that or worse or whatever, but it's another alternative, and it's still quite high priced.
Yeah, this is the top grossing one. It has been for a little while now, so I think, well, but based on people's purchase behavior, it's probably the top one. Okay, what about you?
Well, mine, unfortunately, is not working right now, so I can't actually show it to you, but I'll show you the icon here, and we'll lay in some screens of it. It's not a particularly action-packed one. It's called iBird Plus, and this happens to me every so often on my iPhone, which I'll just complain to Apple about right now. When I click on the icon, it just goes to it and then just stops, and you have to uninstall it and reinstall it, and
Really?
unfortunately, it's like that right now. But so the concept of iBird Plus, the one that I got is $19.99. It allows you to identify birds. Now, people might know that I'm a bird nerd if they've ever seen my Flickr photo stream. I like identifying birds, going out, taking pictures of them. So flickr.com/photo/globalhermit. And
What was that, Sean?
flickr.com/photo/globalhermit.
Very good.
And what this allows you to do is it allows you to actually identify the birds when you're out in the field. So you think to yourself, that looks kind of like a sparrow, but not really. So you say, okay, well, enter in the size of it, enter in the beak shape, enter in the color, the primary color, the secondary color, and it'll start drilling down and then your region. And then it'll give you a list, and then when you go through it, it'll show you, okay, photographs as well of these birds that are in there. It'll actually give you bird calls. And it's quite helpful for doing that. And I said, it's not necessarily for everyone. If you want to identify birds, it might be the way to go.
Sounds like fun.
It is fun for some. At least I know my own way home.
How much is it?
It's $19.99.
Okay. So it is higher value.
It's higher. There's an even higher value version of it, but I decided I didn't want to spend that much money on it.
I got it. All right, let's talk about free apps, because everybody loves free apps. There is a category on the App Store called free apps. People are using it actually to promote, pay versions. They give you like a limited access, sort of, like I like to call them gimpware. But there is lots of apps out there. This one actually is not a gimpware. This is a fully functional one called Shazam.
Oh, I was going to use that one.
I know. I think you introduced it to me, but then I think I introduced Ping to you. So there you go. That's what happens. Shazam is a free app that you can use to identify. You know when you're like listening to a radio and you catch a song halfway through and you're like, oh, I love this song. What the heck is it called?
Yeah. So you're at the cafe or something like that. Or
yeah, exactly. And you're like, oh, it's coming over the speakers. What is that song? So what you do is you take out your iPhone, you fire up Shazam here, and you click on Tag Now. And then what it does is it starts to listen to the music. Okay.
So now it's listening
So now
to
it's
it.
listened to that, and it's trying to guess what the song is.
Yeah, and it's unrecognized. I wonder why.
Do you want to do a song that's real?
Let's see if I actually have some music on my iPod.
That's probably the best way to do it, right? Exactly. Play something back. So the idea, though, is that this app actually takes a chunk of that music and then compares it to a catalog on the network, figures out exactly what the application is.
Let's tag this.
Okay, it's thinking, sending. Ah,
there we go.
Is it Blue Monday?
It is
By
Blue
New Order.
Monday.
There you go. Very cool. So generally does work pretty well in a noisy environment. you might have to try it a couple of times.
Yeah.
But I've actually been pretty impressed with this. You can even actually, if you can hum halfway good, it will actually recognize something that you hum. So if you remember a chunk of a song and hum the melody, sometimes you can actually get it to tell you what it is.
There's another one called Midomi that does very similar, M-I-D-O-M-I.
Right.
Midomi.
Midomi. Now this I think they make their money by linking to the iTunes library, and so you can go and buy the song, for example, once it's identified, which is kind of a clever thing. Anyway, that was called Shazam. What about you, Mr. Freebie?
Well, one of my favorite free apps here, I've actually got a couple. One of them I'll show. The first one that I'm not going to show is by the CBC, and it's part of a growing category of apps that take a content library from these creators, in this case CBC television and radio, and make it available for free through the iPhone. I think NPR has one. There's a few others in the States. The one that I have here is the NFB. The NFB, which is the National Film Board of Canada, they want to get their films out there, have people watch them, and it's a government program. So unfortunately, people aren't seeing them. And one way to get them to see them is by going and downloading them here through the NFB application. So now we've got a few recent things here. Now we can go and do a search or choose by category. Now one of my favorite things about the NFB is their animated shorts. And the cat came back and get a job and all of that. So we can go looking through some of these. And when we found one that looks good, we can click on it and play it. There we go. And hit the play button here, and it'll start loading. Now it's better to do this obviously over a Wi-Fi connection than over the data network.
Yeah.
And as soon as it starts streaming, it'll just start playing it and like it was a regular movie on your iPhone.
And it's free.
And it's free.
We love free. All right, cool. All right, well, let's take a break, and when we come back, we're going to talk to you a little bit about the apps we wish somebody would invent, as well as picture time and a little clip from butterscotch.com. That's after this. This is the part of the show where we show you a fun clip from butterscotch.com. And Shawnee, this week, Mr. Mobile, you produce that show, right?
I do produce Mr. Mobile. Right. So I mentioned earlier in the show when you were talking about your GPS application, your turn-by-turn navigation, he did one called Copilot. So why don't we take a quick look at that?
All right.
Welcome on deck. I'm Matt Harris.
Hi, I'm Jay Goldman.
Welcome to the A-List.
Hi, welcome to Miss Download.
Copilot comes in 3 different flavors. You can find all 3 of them in the App Store. North American version is $34.99, Europe version is $99.99, and the UK version is $42.99. So depending on where you're going to be doing your driving, or in fact walking or motorcycling or RVing, you might want to buy one of those specific ones. Just for a comparison, TomTom US and Canada is $99.99, so you're saving yourself almost $60 by going with this solution. Now, this app is actually really big. It downloads all the maps in it. So the North American version is actually 1.12 gigabytes.
In a moment, picture time, but let's just talk real quick about apps we wish somebody would write.
Yes.
What about you, Mr. Carruthers?
Well, we've heard of applications that help you with subways, and in Toronto we've got the Toronto Transit Commission, and there's an application called Red Rocket which has schedules and all of that. We've also heard of augmented reality, which allow you to look through the camera, and we've got this one here. It's called LAR, which actually allows you to look through the camera here in the direction that you're going and search for things. So like if you're looking for sushi or whatnot, it will show you where it all is. And you see as I turn this, little points show up with indications of where these things actually are. So you can go out in public and look towards them and just sort of say, okay, blah, blah, blah. Click on one of them and then go to the map. So what I want is a combination of the two. Now the New York City subway had an augmented reality version where you could say, okay, hold up, look around, where's my nearest stop? And then it'll guide you to it. I want to see that for the TTC. And I want to see that just in general for more and more types of applications.
Well, I mean, I think that you're going to find that more geolocation-based apps are going to occur. And it's funny you should mention that because that's what I want too. I have this app here called Toronto Traffic. Now, this is an app that people build. Where are we here? Let's put it over here. That somebody built with all the Toronto public traffic cameras, and they do it for different Canadian cities. I think this somebody does it for the ones in the States. Mm-hmm. But as you can see, it's a stills of the highway, and I love to see that in video. And then the other thing I'd love to do would be, let me just flip it over here. I'm going to put it. This is a highway map here that shows the Queen Elizabeth Way, QEW we call it here in Toronto. So you can see green means the highway is good. Something goes amber if it's slow and red if it's stopped and that sort of thing. I'd love to see that live, like live animation and that sort of thing. So,
Or a combination of the two, potentially.
yeah, absolutely. It'd be great to be able to click here and actually see the live traffic, see what's going on. Why is it red there? Oh, there's an accident or whatever. It'd be great.
Very good.
So that's what I'd like to see. All right. Let's have a look at picture time.
Yeah, we can see these pictures right now. There's nothing futuristic about them.
No, okay.
Maybe a little bit. So first of all, remember our friend Zoltan from Romania with the magic shorts?
Magic European guy.
Well,
yeah.
he said no magic shorts this time around, but he does want to show us his brand new MacBook Air. And there it is.
Very pretty.
The Air may have magic shorts. I don't know. We can't see them. They're very short.
Nice. Okay, good.
So thank you, Zoltan, for sending that in.
Yeah.
And also an update from our friend Quinn in Calgary.
Yes.
And he's actually circled himself this time.
Thank you, Quinn.
That's Quinn.
Very
And
good.
that's, I guess, his friend
Yeah.
beside him. And there you go. And he also sent us a picture of his website, which is, very, very busy. Yes.
All right. Well, thank you, Quinn. Thanks for sending that in. And you too can send your pictures in to Lab Rats, and we want to see pictures of you and your friends, like Quinn did, and your websites, cats, rats, anything in your life that you want to show us off. We would love to see it and put it on the show. So email us at.
You don't have to have magic shorts or a futuristic iPhone app to mail us at labrats.tv.
Or more simply.
Feedback@labrats.tv.
All right. Well, thank you for coming to see us this week and pushing play. It would be foolish for you to be out there if we weren't here. Wait a second. Does that work? No.
No.
It'd be foolish for us to be here if you weren't out there. All right. My name's Andy Walker.
I am Ninja.
I'm Sean Carruthers. We'll see you next time.
Are you ready? Try this at home.
Hello, Ann.
I smell 2 packs a day.
And tell us about your iguana jub jub.